So yesterday, remember that Trump it seemed to me like a troll. He was sort of trolling the press by meeting with the Russian ambassador and the Russian foreign minister. Yesterday, the Washington Post breaks a story that obviously it's a complicated story, but the basic idea of it was during this meeting where Tillerson was there and McMaster was there, that Trump said something about information we had from which the Russians could have deduced that we had a partner in the Middle East who had given us this information. And the partner in the Middle East obviously didn't want to be revealed. So we don't know this. We have no idea whether this is true or not. We do know that it's virtually impossible for Trump to reveal classified information because Trump's the president. He can say it's not classified anytime he wants, right? But the idea is he might have shared some information from which they could deduce a source in the Middle East. Well, how do they know this? I mean, first, let's go back. We're getting these denials from McMaster, one of the only two important people who was there. He's the national security advisor. So here he is. Let's get him today. Yesterday, he made a quick speech, but let's look at that number 12 today where he was facing, I think this is Karen Tumulty from the Washington Post who broke the story.
Sir, I just want to try to dig into some details of this reporting on the president's conversations with the Russians. Are you denying that he revealed information that was given to the U.S. by an intelligence partner?
So what we don't do is discuss what is and what wasn't classified. What I will tell you is in the context of that discussion, what the president discussed with the foreign minister was wholly appropriate to that conversation and is consistent with the routine sharing of information between the president and any leaders with whom he's engaged.
But was it information the U.S. received from an intelligence partner?
I'm not going to be the one to confirm that sort of information that could jeopardize our security.
U.S. allies that do have these type of intelligence sharing relationships with the U.S. will stop providing that information?
No, I'm not concerned at all. That conversation was wholly appropriate to the conversation, and I think wholly appropriate what the expectations are of our intelligence partners.
Okay, so at the same time, we're going to stay on Facebook and YouTube so you can hear Christian Toto talking about the movies from Hollywood in Toto. But let's finish this first. I mean, so there he is, McMaster saying this didn't happen. Basically, it was all totally appropriate. Trump tweets, as president, I wanted to share with Russia at an openly scheduled White House meeting, which I have the absolute right to do, facts pertaining to terrorism and airline flight safety, humanitarian reasons, plus I wanted Russia to greatly step up their fight against ISIS and terrorism. Worst case scenario, it sounds to me like he told them something that maybe they can deduce something. I don't know. These are anonymous sources who weren't in the meeting. Anonymous sources who weren't in the meeting, calling up the people in the meeting saying nothing bad happened, but it's hard to parse. There's no way to deny something, so you can't say the guy is parsing it. They used to do this to people all the time. However, here's my question. If it's true that somebody in the administration after this meeting came out, somebody in the meeting said, we better call up the CIA and make sure they know about this. So they call up the CIA. Let's say you're in the CIA. You get this call and you think, oh, man, this clown really made a blooper here, really did a dumb thing. Inexperienced president, non-politician, doesn't really listen to his briefings, really made a dumb mistake. What's the first call you're going to make? The Washington Post? If you're a patriot, is that who you're going to call? The Washington Post had it. The Washington Post had it. Then the New York Times had it. Then BuzzFeed had it. And then the Wall Street Journal had it. These guys are after the president. They are trying to bring him down. And listen to the way the Wall Street Journal, it's not a left-wing paper, but its news reporting is to the left, though its op-eds are to the right. Here's the way they said this. This was the latest in a string of controversy, all stemming from investigations into Mr. Trump's associates and presidential campaign over ties to Russia. Now, I ask you, how is that stemming from that? How does this stem from that? The next sentence is, Mr. Trump last week fired Mr. Comey, who was heading up the investigation into the ties between Trump associates and Russia and testifying about the probe. All I'm saying is that is narrative writing. That is telling you that this is somehow connected to this investigation and Comey was fired to stop this investigation. This is narrative writing. And the idea here is not that you believe each and every scandal. when the Russian narrative, Comey was fired to kill the Russian investigation narrative, when that really became illogical and stupid, the next narrative comes along. And the thing is to keep up a constant drumbeat of hysteria so that when Trump, who, let's face it, is a chaotic guy, he's a chaotic guy, he may be a bit of a bumbler, he's certainly inexperienced, he talks, he's got a big mouth. So when he really does something wrong, right, when he really makes a mistake, and as every president does, the atmosphere will be like, leaked gas, and it'll be like a spark going off, and it'll blow up. That's the point. That's what they did to George W. Bush with Hurricane Katrina. It was one fake non-scandal scandal after another, and then when he did make some mistakes during Hurricane Katrina, although all the reporting about Katrina and what was happening in New Orleans, it all turned out to be ridiculous and false. Bush did make a couple of errors. They got him, because there was this atmosphere that this has been going wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong, and now, look, the whole disaster has blown up. And that's what they're trying to do to this guy. And all I'm asking is to ask yourself why that's happening.